In our past few demonstrations, we saw how to add a role and how to configure that role using PowerShell commandlets. Now, in this demonstration, we'll just put it all together into a single script, and we'll install the DHCP server role, and we'll set up a scope and configure some properties. Now, I have the script fully assembled here, but we will go through all of the commandlets and all of the parameters. And once again, I am working on the full desktop installation just so that we can see the results a little easier once everything finishes. In fact, let me just switch over to my server manager right now. And on the left-hand side, notice that there is no DHCP service. And if I go to the Tools menu, there is no DHCP administrative tool either. But we'll add both the role and the management tools and configure the scope all through this script. Okay, so let's go back to my PowerShell ISE. And to install the feature itself, this is the exact same syntax that we saw to install DNS. It's just a different name. So it is the install Windows feature commandlet with the parameter of name, then DHCP, then the parameter to include the management tools. So that installs both the service and the management interface. Then from that point, once the installation of the role completes, we can create a scope. So the commandlet here is add DHCP server v4 scope. Now do take note of the v4 referring to TCP/IP version 4 because you can create a version 6 scope as well. So you do need to be specific here. Then the parameter of name is, in my case, my scope. And I should point out that if you want a space in the name, then you would need quotation marks, okay? Then the parameters of start range and end range are required, and I'm just using values that are applicable to my lab environment here, purely because of the DNS server. If I were to just make up values, the script would run and it would succeed, but if you put in an invalid DNS server, it will actually validate this and it will tell you that it's not a valid DNS server. Now that actually won't cause an error, but the DNS server will not end up in the actual results when the scope is finished. Okay? So again, use whatever values are applicable to you for the starting IP address and the ending IP address. I have them both here. And then the last